Hey, Blessed Tribe, it's Coach Jess. I'm back again with another mental health motivational word. I hope you guys are having a fabulous, fabulous Saturday evening, okay? I have just been resting, okay? So God has just been really working with me on resting, resting, resting. Sometimes if we don't know how to put ourselves on pause and prioritize our health, God will do it for us, okay? By way of sitting you down. So he has set me down for a couple days. And even though I have been kind of taking it easy, I've still been trying to get my steps in. I have been clawing tooth and nail. The other night, I think I got like 9,935 steps. And I have just really been trying to get to that 10,000 mark, but that's still having compassion on myself. I think today so far I'm up to like 6,000, and I still got a couple more thousand to go. And the I'm not even gonna say the enemy because I'm giving the enemy too much credit. Okay, so God basically was telling me to rest some more, but just switch it up a little bit. So I have been outside a lot, and that was one of the reasons why the outside weather has been impacting my health because I've been out there like a whole lot. Even my neighbors have been saying like, "Yo, you in London have been outside, okay?" So I've been very dedicated to being outside and enjoying the fresh weather and fresh air and just relaxing in that way. And today I was just so gun ho. Like I wanted to get on a trail. I wanted to take her to the park. I wanted to do something to relax and to get my steps in. But then it began to rain. It began to drizzle a little bit. And I was like, well, you know what? By the time we get there, it may not rain too much. So we waited a little bit in the house and we was like, okay, we're going to go out there. So as soon as we like literally get to the park, the bottom falls out. And I'm like, okay, God, I got the message. I'm going home. So I'm going to try to get my steps in by doing the Leslie at home walking recording where she walks with you in your living room. And I think you do that for maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes. And I should have a couple thousand steps in at the end of that workout because it's basically where she just use low impact movement, and you're able to still move around the living room upward, backward, do a little kicks and stuff like that. So it's a very low impact and I love it. So if it's working, keep doing it. So if you have not been able to reach your goals, have compassion on yourself. If you have not been feeling well, you're not going to be able to perform and do your duties and reach your goals at the same intensity level that you may have in the past. So you have to be gentle on yourself so you can heal. All of your prayers, I have felt them. Listen, I have felt them. I've heard your cry out for me in the spirit. God say, you got to get on here and talk to my people. You cannot leave my people out here hungry and leave them out here wandering because they may stumble upon some people that's not of his kingdom, okay? So I'm glad that you guys tuned in with me on today, okay? Um, I have a really good word for you guys, but I got like some household issues or what is it called? Like household maintenance that I want to discuss. So as I'm out in the community, so I'm always talking to somebody always talking to me. And it's really a blessing to have a spirit where people feel comfortable opening up to you, talking to you, wanting to confide in you. So God is saying, even though you think that that's not a gift, God say that is your gift. Your gift is to talk to his people, give them wise counsel, allow them to be able to speak to you with boundaries where you're not feeling overwhelmed and like an emotional dumping ground, but you know that people are just coming to you because they sense that spirit, that God like light spirit on you. So that's why they're talking to you, and that's why they're wanting your input, and they're wanting to know what would you do, and have you ever been through this, and what do you think, because they see the God essence inside of you, okay? So that's why people always talk to you, call your phone, and want your advice, is because they see the God in you. I experienced the same thing, so I'm always talking to somebody. And as I was just at my assignment where I work at the grocery store with people, and that assignment is coming to an end, and it's like a bittersweet because I know God is saying he has more. He got other ways that he wants me to spend my time, and that's what leads me to the book of Ruth. God told me as that assignment ends, he want me to go to the book of Ruth to know that he's going to provide for me, take care of me, as long as I'm doing my godly kingdom assignment duties. My purpose of being here is serving his kingdom, serving his people, and letting people know that God is real. He will make a provision for you. He will make a way for you. So before we get into my little Bible study I did in the book of Ruth, I wanted to share that with you all because he placed that on my heart. And I tried to not really run away from it, but I knew it was going to be something he wanted me to get on here and share. So I kind of put it on the back burner a little bit because I wanted to rest up, to muster up enough energy. That's why I wanted to walk so I can get up some energy. But God say this is his order, so he wanted me to do this first. Even though I wanted to do it, the rain came and it put me here, and then later I could do it in the house, and me and London can still spend time together in a more intimate setting, because I like to let her play and then me walk so I can debrief. Okay, so as a mom, you got to try to get you some you time in there, some self-care, some mental space in there while you are parenting. You can't just mother, give, so, invest, do all of the schedules that our kids require us to have as they, have tutoring, extracurricular activities, and they need meal prep, and they need baths, and they need everything from their mama. They feel like their daddy, can't do everything. They just feel more comfortable asking us, okay? So you have to find you some health care time in your schedule. So that's what I was trying to do. But God say it's more than one way to do something. As the older people say, it's more than one way to skin a cat, okay? So just know that, you're going to be able to be okay. You're going to have enough energy to do everything God wants you to do. And as I'm on here with you now, like, I'm not feeling my best, but I'm feeling much better. So God is making a way for me. He's healing me so that I can do his will, okay? So, as I was just overhearing people speaking, okay, I noticed that people that are in relationship, they're not aware of how they speak to one another in the public eye, okay? So for one, I always mind my business, but I still got 2 ears to hear, okay? And I'm very, I'm an empath, so I can feel other people's energy. I know when they're frustrated. I know when they're angry. I know when they're excited. I know when they're angry. Like, God just gave me that spiritual sensitivity, okay? So as I was just rubbing elbows with people, God was just showing me for myself, and to also get on here and share with you guys, when we are in a relationship, okay? And there's been a lot of things I've been noticing, but I don't really know. Okay, I'm just going to let the spirit flow. So there's a lot of things I've been noticing far as just the treatment of how we treat people that we say we love. And I have been guilty of this too. So I want you guys to know that I'm taking notes so that when God brings me my Boaz, when God brings me my kingdom spouse, when God brings me new kingdom friends and new connections and eagle business connections and kingdom connections, that I'm prepared for these connections. Because sometimes we pray for things and we really may not be ready for them. That's why we don't have them. So I was just listening to couples, have disagreements with one another in a public setting. And God just placed it on my heart to share with you guys as the Blessed Tribe. Don't do that, okay? There's a time and place for everything. Like the Bible tells us, there's a time to sow and there's a time to harvest. It's the same concept where you can't just allow strangers into your marriage, into your relationship, into your home. Some things are better discussed at home. So it must have been a couple that God was saying, just speaking out loud, not knowing other people can hear, well, we're not going to get that because we don't have enough money for that, because someone indicating that his significant other went to the gas station and bought X, Y, and Z. So we're not going to get that. And it was really kitty like, but we all do stuff like this when we want to like chop our partner's head off for doing something silly or overspending in a joint account or something like that. And God just allowed me to overhear this because I'm always minding my business. Like, I have enough people talking to me already. I really don't like to hear other stuff that has nothing to do with me. Um, so he tells his significant other, no, we're not gonna get that because someone's overspent in the joint account, obviously. And she says, well, it wasn't me. And he says, and I guess he gets lower because he see like, okay, we're about to go back and forth. So I don't know what they said in between that. So I met them on a couple hours later, and she's like standing in front of me, and I guess she needs to get where I am. And she turns to him and she says, well, why did you even come with me on this shopping trip? So I guess by the time they get from the shelf safe items to the cold items, things then got heated, okay? And she's frustrated because he's like nitpicking at her, and this is a public thing happening. So you just never know who may be listening, who may be overlooking. I can say, and it goes both ways, but I see more women doing it than men. You speak harshly to your significant other in public. It's just not a good look, okay? So treat the people who God have put into your life to love you, to care for you, to be your partner. Treat them well. And if you can't get along, I remember I was reading a book by Dr. Shahrazad Ali. Some of the stuff she talking about, like sharing men and stuff like that, I'm not with it. But it was a really good book. And she was saying in that book how, what was the point I was going to make about the book? We were talking about relationships, and what was she saying in the book? Yeah, if you can't get along with your spouse, she doesn't agree with living in hell with someone. And it really resonated with me because I'm the same way. Like, as I get older, wiser, more mature, more dated, like I know what I like, know what I don't like. And what she was saying is that you shouldn't live in misery with someone just because you've been together for a lot of years, or just because you share this family or you share certain things. You shouldn't feel obligated to stay with someone. And I've also noticed, and this is just me talking to you as your coach, I haven't even got into the Bible study yet, but listen, I've noticed a lot of men, and you're going to have to read between the lines, okay? Because I'm no life coach. I'm no, relationship coach. I focus more on the motivation part. But this is just some stuff I'm noticing. And since I got an audience, God say, these are your people, these are your sheep, and they're here to eat. So I'm here to feed you, okay? And it may not be the word that you want to hear, but it's going to be what God wants you to hear, okay? So I've been noticing a lot of men that have the same skin as me, they're not with us as much as I would like them to be. The more I go from here to there to everywhere, I'm seeing that they are not sticking with us like you have seen previously in the 50s, in the 60s, in the 70s, even in the 80s, even in the 90s. Here recently, I've been noticing more, and it's been catching my attention, because usually I'm like, I'm okay with it. But now even like the guys are looking at me like, feeling embarrassment or something. I don't know. But I would always agree with someone being with people who you can get along with, who you can build a family with, who you can speak kindly to, who you have the same financial goals, same spiritual goals. You guys get along with one another. His faults, outweigh your faults. You guys can learn to live together and communicate well and treat each other well and not treat each other poorly. So I just wanted to say, as a Black woman, as your life coach, as a concerned citizen, treat the person that you are with well. Color, nationality, location, none of that matters. But I've just noticed that I think because of the treatment that men are receiving and women are receiving as well, they're just not happy in their relationships that I can see. I'm seeing it a lot. And people are with people just for financial gains or just for being an opportunist, what you can get out of somebody, financial resources, having resources to a working car, having resources to multiple job opportunities, or whatever it is. I've just noticed that a lot of people are not secure in their relationships. That's the nutshell of what I'm trying to say. So, just when you're in public, even at home while your kids are watching. And I know if you're doing this in public, I can only imagine how real and raw it gets at home. And everybody, has the right to their privacy. But some stuff I just wanted to advise you guys that people are noticing that you're not getting along in public. You're bringing your, in home things and drama outside of your home. So I just wanted to, it was on my heart to share that. So I'm not being judgmental at all, but I've noticed that, a lot of people are speaking roughly to one another in public. And then I'm also noticing that even me being friendly, when people, no matter the nationality or sex or race or whatever, when they see that you're happy, they see that you are joyful, they see that you are kingdom, they see that you are liked, they see that you are willing to be well spoken, you're willing to say hello, you're willing to put your phone down while checking out at the register, acknowledge other human beings. You never know what people are going through. Just you saying hello, you saying you like that new hairstyle, you like that blouse, you like those shoes. Wow, where did you get those glass frames from? Whatever, however you can communicate with people. People are needing more of that. I'm just noticing positive engagement, okay? Especially with the person that you're splitting bills with, the person that you're raising your family with, the person you're starting businesses with, the person you're calling your kingdom spouse. You guys need to be on one accord, especially in public, because there is a lot of people who are seeking what you have. They are searching out. They're open. They're ready. They're positive. They're vibrant. They're working on their body. They're working on their mind. They're being a complete whole person where they can meet another complete whole person, and they're wanting to connect with people. So just because you've been with your spouse a long time don't mean you got the right to talk to them crazy, roll your eyes, put your hands on them, or speak to them out of pocket, especially in public. Just be very mindful of that. So I'm just going to slide on into my message. Okay, I do got me some little tea over here because I knew I was going to be struggling with my voice. I know Linda gonna say, "Ma, why you get my?" No, this is my cup. All right. So I really don't have a title for this, but I guess God will give me one. So basically, this is where I am in my life, where I am having to depend solely on God for everything, for finances, for guidance, for everything. And He's saying that a lot of other people out there, you guys are also at the same place in life where I am. So you can resonate with this message just as well as I can, okay? So, God was favorable over Ruth because of her willingness to go. So a lot of us, we're willing to go, but He's saying, you got to be 110% committed, because the journey is not going to be easy. So where I am right now, I am in a place where I'm growing. I can see the growth. I can see the numbers. I can see the influence. I can see the impact. I see where what I'm doing is encouraging other people. People are supporting the business. I've been able to be blessed to still be in business after 1 year. So I'm in a place now where I have to keep that momentum. I'm having to stay committed, and God is saying you're going to have to be willing. So you may be at your beginning stage or middle, or however long you've been invested into your business, into your purpose, into using your gifts, into networking, self-developing, fasting, going back to school. You may have had to disconnect from people that no longer serve you. Whatever phase you're at, God is saying He wants you to be willing. So right now, I'm at my health and wellness journey. I am at self-developing. All aspects of my life is just completely focused on self-development, because in order for me to be the best coach I can be, I have to self-develop. I have to continue to work on me so that I can know what God wants me to teach you guys, okay? So he said he wants you to be willing. So in your own specialty, your own gift, whatever you are great at, whatever people always say, girl, can you help me with this? And you're like, you don't know how to do that? And it comes to you naturally. Whatever you are willing, God is saying, whatever you can do naturally, God is saying, be willing to share that with his children, okay? So Ruth's character at the very beginning, it talked about how she was willing to go and be with her mother-in-law, which is Naomi. So the book is about Ruth, Naomi, and the other sister-in-law, Oprah. Okay, so it says that Ruth was willing because she was ready, she was eager, and she was prepared to do something. So that's what the definition of willing means. So he said he needs you to prepare yourself. So self-development, life coaching, getting into therapy, exercising, being more calm and still, and meditating on a daily basis, getting with friends who feed you instead of drain you, cutting off relationships where it's one-sided. People just want to take from you, use from you, see what they can get from you. You know they really don't love you. They talk about you when you leave the room. That means that you are getting prepared to get away from those type of people, okay? So he wants somebody that's willing to do what he asked them to do. Like tonight, I had to be willing. I knew at some point I was going to have to get up here, but it was just like I didn't know when. So when the time presented itself, I had to be willing to serve, no matter how nervous I am, no matter how scared I am, no matter how much my voice is just doing what it's doing, my health is regaining itself, coming back to full recovery, okay? He's wanting people to be willing, okay? So she's also an independent thinker. So this is Ruth's character. And God is saying, you're listening to this message because you have the same capabilities, the same characteristics, the same integrity, the willpower, the determination. You have that in you as well. You're just like Ruth, just in modern day. So whatever your name is, he's saying that this is you. You're willing. You have your mind made up. You're preparing yourself. You're preparing to go to the place where God is saying that you're going to go. You are preparing, and you have made up your mind, and you're eager and ready to do what God asked you to do. You may not know how, when, why, who. You don't need to know all the details. That God said, that's how we mess it up. We're doing too much. We need to know too much. He said, be willing. So she's an independent thinker. So it says that she chose to follow God, although it was not tradition. So she went against the grain. So a lot of us, we're going to have to go against the grain. We're going to have to talk about topics that don't nobody else want to talk about. We're going to have to be bold as a lion. We're going to have to stand 10 toes down for the kingdom. We're going to have to get on kingdom business. We're going to have some enthusiastic about it. We're going to have to be bold and courageous and strong. We're going to have to be about it, okay? So God is saying that you are an independent thinker. And as an independent thinker, you don't think like average people. You definitely don't think like a chicken. I just released a short, and I said the fact that you even still speak chicken is embarrassing to your father. He said that you're going to mount up with wings like an eagle, okay? So the Bible tells us that we're eagles. We're not chickens. So you're going to go against tradition. So when she went against tradition, she was supposed to, after her husband died, she was supposed to go back to her mother and father's home and their traditions and religions and things. But she told Naomi no. She said, no, I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to be where you be. Your God is going to be my God. Wherever you die, I'm going to be buried there with you. So don't keep asking me to leave you. I'm not, okay? So it says that she was an independent thinker. She went against the grain, and she was selfless. The fact that she left home to care for her mother-in-law, Naomi, she was selfless. So God is saying, that's you. You'll give your shirt off your back to help somebody. You will go out the way to make sure somebody else got gas, and then you don't even have your own gas. You may be so selfless to the point where you have to set boundaries. You have to tell yourself, no, I have to say no, or either I'm going to be lacking. You just have a heart of gold. And I know this because Real Recognize Real. You would not have subscribed to this channel unless I had said something, or you felt my energy or my personality come through that you could identify with. So God say, this is us. We are Ruth. We are willing. We have made our mind up. We know our purpose. We ready. We independent thinkers. We do not sit around and peck with the chickens and try to fiddle our fingers and figure it out. We go and make something happen, okay, in alignment with what God have us to do. One, no, we're not going to stop there. We're going to keep knocking on them doors. We're going to keep pressing play each and every day. We're going to fight through the sickness. We're going to still try to get our steps in, even though the bed is calling our name. We're going to still do what God asks us to do, okay? So you are selfless. You help other people. You don't always think about yourself. You're very humble, okay? You're willing to serve other people. Get your hands dirty. Go against the grain. People going to be talking about you, but you don't care what they say. You say, forget a hater. It doesn't matter what they think. I know that if you are coming against me, then you're not really supposed to be a part of my plan, or you just gonna be a part of the people at the table watching me eat later on when God bring me forth, okay? So you don't worry about the naysayers and what they say not gonna succeed and it didn't work for 55 people before you. You don't think about that. You're gonna defeat the odds. You that type of person, okay? So it went on to talk about God will meet our physical needs. So your immediate needs are gonna be met. So Ruth, her and Naomi, they was going to be hungry because they were traveling from where they were to, I think, Bethlehem. I think they were traveling to another territory. And they needed food. So when they got there, God made sure that they ate. So he's saying, even with us, you may be scared to do what he asked you to do, but he's going to meet your immediate needs, your clothing, your food, and your shelter. God is going to make sure that he makes a provision for you if you're in perfect alignment with what you're supposed to be doing. You're going to be provided for. Because a lot of times I'll be like, God, the math and what's due, it just ain't working out. And every time I just depend on my Father, because I know the more that I press play, the more that I do what God asked me to do, the more that I fast, the more that I meditate, the more that I pray, the more I be in obedience and get in the books he asked me to get into, the more I get in self-development. I start renewing my mind, renewing my heart, the way that I think about things, the scripts that have been downloaded in me since I was a child to keep me in complacency, in scarcity, in lack. I have to uproot all of that stuff. So as long as I'm doing what God asked me to do and becoming the best version that I can be, the same thing with you. You keep sewing into the videos. You keep sewing into the life coaching sessions. You keep going to therapy. You keep pressing play on that job. You keep being excellent. You keep treating people right who treat you wrong. You keep, people character intact who trying to, throw salt on your name. You go above and beyond like an eagle. God is saying you don't have to worry about your immediate needs. He's going to do that plus more. God is going to blow your mind, okay? Because Ruth thought she just was going to be with Naomi and they was just going to live a happy life. She was never going to remarry. But God said he's going to meet your basic needs and he's going to go beyond it, okay? So don't worry about just the basic needs. He's going to do that plus more. And also people who are attached to us. And just because Ruth was blessed, Naomi was blessed. And then they she went on to marry and have a child. So not only are you going to be blessed, but your sacrifices and what you're doing, your family is also going to be blessed as well, okay? So that's why it's not all about you being willing just for you. You got your whole bloodline attached to this thing. And once you realize you can't go back, you got to be where you are right now and be by yourself and be in the wilderness and isolate and feel like you're all by yourself and self-develop when nobody else around you don't even know how to spell self-development. Nobody else is starting a business. Nobody else can see the businesses and dreams and goals that God have placed on you. But you got to be willing because you got a lot of people behind you, okay? So the path that you're on, God say you got to stay on this path, okay? You can't go back. Going back is not an option at this point. And I know it's hard because you're out here all by yourself, that you feel like. But God say you're not by yourself. He's going to make a provision for you, okay? So those people who are attached to you will also get what they need. When you come to a place in your life when you realize you have no choice but to trust God. So this is at the basically the beginning. This is when they basically lost the husband, lost the two sons, and then Oprah, Ruth, and Naomi, they just broke down, and they basically was at a crossroad where um they didn't have anything. They had lost all of the protection, the provision, the I guess their resources. So she told them, you guys go back to your parents, and I'm going to go back to my homeland, and we're going to separate. And it said that in Ruth 1:8, it says, Naomi said to her two daughters-in-law, go back to your mother's home. May the Lord bless you with the security of another marriage. Then she kissed them goodbye, and they all broke down and wept. So God wanted me to point out the part where it say they broke down and wept. So that's where a lot of us right now, we feel like we broke down. We feel like we done lost it all. We done put all of our eggs in a basket with a man. We thought we were going to get married. We thought that was going to be the life for us. We was going to get us a little house with a white picket fence. We was going to live the American dream, and we was going to roll over, get our 401k, and we had it all planned out. We had our dress picked out. We knew the colors we was going to have. We knew, right? God say no, scratch that. So a lot of us are at a place right now in our life when we realize that what we thought is not. And that is a very hard place to be because it feels like you're back at ground zero. It feels like you're starting all over again. But God say this time he wants you to bet on you. So that's going to be the name of the video, okay? Holy Spirit just dropped that. This time, bet on you, okay? So when you bet on you, and I need to write that down because I forget. All right, so this time when you bet on you, you may feel like you done lost it all. You may feel empty, confused, brokenhearted, like you're starting all over. You may feel defeated. Like I say, don't worry about that. You feeling broken down and crying spiritually. And some of us, when we get to this place, we either gonna like go with Naomi or we gonna go back and convert to our old ways. And I'm not saying that Oprah, was not courageous or something, but we didn't really hear much about her after this. We heard a lot about Ruth, who kept pressing forward. So God say, keep pressing forward, not just for your future husband, but for your future inheritance, okay? God say that he has more for you. But you cannot turn back around because you're empty, because you're lost, because you're back at ground zero, because somebody broke your heart. You lost a job. You had to start over. God is saying you're right where he wants you to be because that stuff that you were chasing was too small. He got something bigger for you, okay? So it said that in Ruth 1:14, it says Oprah kissed her mother-in-law goodbye, but Ruth clung tightly to Naomi. So we're not even going to focus on Oprah because she went another way. We're going to focus on the way that God got us going, and that's forward. So God say focus on where it says Ruth clung tightly to Naomi. So the message he wants you to get there is just as Ruth clung tight to her mother-in-law, displaying faithfulness, commitment, and loyalty, he's saying this time around, while you're betting on yourself, cling tightly to him. Cling tightly to his word. Cling tightly to videos that are helping you, that's getting into the Bible, that's uplifting you, making you develop an optimistic attitude, making you feel like you can do the things that other people in your family have never been able to do, make you feel like you can overcome hurdles and barriers that you're facing in your life right now. God is saying cling tightly to his word, to his people that are kingdom ambassadors, people that you can feel the intensity, their heart, their spirit. You can see it. You can feel it, okay? God is saying cling tightly to the things that are going to help propel you to your destiny. Don't worry about people that are going the other way. You can't go back that way. Death is that way. Your lack is that way. Your mental health not being clear is that way. You living from check to check is that way. You can't go back that way. Even though you may feel empty, you feel like this can't be it. God say, keep going, work hard, okay? So, it says that, and I kind of like took some notes so that I can be a little clear when I get on here. So it says this time you got to commit to God. So it says in Ruth 1:18, it says, when Naomi saw that Ruth was determined to go with her, she said nothing more. So she tried to convince her one more time. She said, listen, your sister-in-law went back. Now it's time for you to go back. Get gone now. And she told her, no, don't keep asking me to leave you. And this is when she told her, like, where you go, I'll go. Whoever your God is will be my God. Where they bury you, they'll find me there too. I'll be buried there as well. So when it said determined, God had me look that up. It says to be determined means that you made a firm decision, you're having a made up mind, and you're not turning around and going back. So this is like where we are at a crossroads right now. And we have to make a firm decision. And these decisions, God had told me earlier today, because I've been fasting as well. So when you're fasting, you're clear and you're more aware of what God wants you to do and how he wants you to do it, and what direction he's steering you in. So it told me that I needed to be very clear about my choices that I'm making within the next 90 days, within the next year. I need to be very concise, decisive, and aware and alert and sober in the spirit about decisions I'm making for me and my daughter's future. So the same for you. You're at a crossroad right now. You feel like you can't be working at this job until your death arises. You know that God has more for you. He's put it in your spirit. He's shown you visions. When you wake up at night, you see these things. When you are just cruising through the grocery store, God will give you a vision of the abundance that you will have, and you will look at your bank account and you will say, I don't see a way. But God said, you don't need to see a way. He's going to send a Boaz. He's going to send a Ruth your way that's going to cling tightly to you, that's not going to leave you, that's going to make sure that his will is done in your life. He's going to open doors by using people in your life to help you get to your next level. So a lot of us, we're at a crossroad right now. So you got to make a decision. You got to be determined with the decision you make. You cannot go back. Me personally, as your coach, it would be very comfortable for me to go back to doing the things I used to do, to being with the person I used to be with, to accept financial complacency, to have stability in certain areas. It will be easy to go that route. It'll be easy to not have to sleep in the bed alone. It will be easy to not have to, work on co-parenting skills and things like that, and communication. It will be easy just to fall back into the old customs and traditions of how I've always done things, always feeling like I needed a man, always feeling like I needed a friend, always feeling like I needed somebody to go and do things for me and with me. But God is teaching me in this next season, as well as you're going to have to bet on yourself. You're going to have to bet on you and your Father. You're at a crossroad right now. And God said that you have to either cross over like you're crossing the Jordan River, and he's going to make a provision for you. You're not going to drown. Or either you have to retreat and go back. Just imagine being like Harriet Tubman. While the dogs is chasing you, you got to figure out, listen, is you going to jump in and cross, or you going to go back and get captured? God said when you go back and get captured, that's where you're going to die. Spiritually, your spirit is not going to be able to come back out of that. You've done that multiple times. God is saying when you go back, you're going to be devoured. And I feel the Holy Spirit, even though I'm drinking hot tea, okay? It feels cold in here. Listen, when you go back, you're going to be devoured. That's where the enemy wants you, in lack, in poverty, in complacency. God is saying, press forward. Holy Spirit is telling you guys and instructing you on today. You can't go back at this crossroad. It's very pivotal. And I was wondering why I got sent to the book of Ruth, but God is showing me the severity of this thing. Spiritually, your whole bloodline is going to be washed away and left in a deficit if you don't take the torch. God can always find somebody else, but my coach was telling us the reason why he came to you is because there is nobody else. If you don't go, nobody else is going, okay? So God said this crossroad, he know you feel empty. He know you don't have everything you need. He know. The same thing with Ruth, but he made a provision for her, okay? So it says you got to make up your mind. You got to make a firm decision. That stuck with me when it said firm, because when something is firm like a mattress, that thing is hard, okay? You have to be firm on your decisions. So when you say no, no has to mean no. Yes has to mean yes. A boundary has to be firm in place. So you got to make up your mind, and you got to make up your mind that you're not going back. You're serving God. You're recommitting yourself each and every day. You're surrendering. God, what you want me to do? God, how can I be better? God, what do you want me to read? Who do you want me to talk to? Where do you want me to go? How do you want me to dress? What do you want me to say? When do you want me to be quiet? When do you want me to use that boldness, that lion, that authority, that eagle? When do you want me to stand in that masculinity, in my gift that you gave me? When do you want me to be passive and humble and quiet and just like cotton balls floating through the air? Okay, God give us the ability to be able to be both and to be a healthy balance, so that you can be the best version that God birthed you here to be, okay? And it's going to offend other people like all get out. They're going to be so offended that you woke up and realized who you are. They're going to be so bothered that you are poised and that you're nice and that you have authority and that you have abundance mindset and that you're doing your self-development. You're no longer allowing your 7-year-old life to control you anymore. They're going to be so bothered, and it's only because they can't recognize that person. That person is unfamiliar to them, and people who see things that are unfamiliar, they get afraid, they get scared, they get intimidated, and they start acting out like chickens do. So be very aware that when you start walking in your full authority and power and abundance, it's going to offend people. They're going to say, who do you think you are? But you just let them know that I am a powerful, mighty child of God. I come here as a kingdom ambassador to let you know that the light will prevail. The darkness will not have a place in my life. The darkness will get up underneath my feet where it belongs. The darkness will not intimidate me. The darkness will not have me turning around to poverty, desperation, and lack. The darkness has no place here, okay? So you can't go back, moral of the story. So you're at a crossroad and you got to keep going. You can't go back. And I keep emphasizing on that because it's easy to go back. And you may look at other people and say, but how did you not go back? I have thoughts of going back all the time. I'm human. We're all human, but we have to sacrifice. We have to do the hard things. As a trailblazer, as a person of independent thinking, you have to plow forward. What is it that you need? Oh, you're going to have to watch the phone until I'm able to get in there, dear. Go on. You decided to stay in there instead of coming here. The tablet or the phone until I'm done. Okay, so I don't know where I was. London, close the door. All right, so I'm gonna move on. I probably was going off on a tangent, but so it says that your bloodline is dependent on it. Your children's children is dependent on it. So it goes beyond just 1 or 2 generations. Okay, your future is dependent on it, and your promised land depends on it. So whatever you see right now, God has more. God has more. Just keep going forward. He's gonna make a provision for you, but but as you plow forward, just know your hard work is gonna pay off. Okay. And I'm trying my best to plow forward. The enemy is just beat me up in the spirit. But listen, I'm gonna plow forward. So your hard work is gonna pay off. So Ruth 2:7, it says, Ruth asked if she could gather grain behind the harvesters. She has been hard at work ever since, except for a few minutes to rest in the shelter. So Boaz is now asking the people, like, well, who is that? They say that she's a hard worker. They're noticing her. God was telling me as I was reading the scripture, people are noticing you. You feel like the people in the community, your family, strangers, your enemies, the birds, the chickens, the dogs, and the cats, your friends, your old friends, your old boos, your old classmates, your old teachers, whoever. You may be thinking, Nobody notices what I'm doing. I feel like I'm just blowing in the wind. I'm just floating in the wind. God said no, because that's how I feel sometimes. I'm like, am I really making a difference? Even though you see your influence increase, sometimes the people who are very close to you make you feel like you're doing nothing. And that's because your gift is not for them. Just like when Jesus had tried to go back to his hometown and he tried to do the same marvelous miracles that he did everywhere else, he couldn't do them there. So don't get defeated because nobody in your hometown see you, or they pretend like they don't see you. The people who God have given the eyes and given the ears to hear and to understand your gift and how it's valuable to this world and how it's valuable in different markets, those are the people who really matter. Don't focus on the people who make you feel this little, okay? God say, keep serving his kingdom. Your gift is very important. Don't focus on the people who are very close to you, because sometimes they may not see it. Lucky for me, a lot of my support people, they support me, they see it, they see the vision, and it's because I make the vision very plain to them. It's not like, I'm wavering 1 minute to the next. No, consistency, press play, consistency, press play, consistency, press play, repeat, rinse, lather, repeat, okay? Same thing over and over again. God is saying, do your processes. You may have to tweak it a little bit. You may have to change it. You may have to pivot, but keep those same core things that are working. Consistency. People see you, just as Boaz saw her out of all the other harvesters. He noticed her. People who are meant and can have that spiritual eye, they have that king eye, they have that second sense. They know it's something different about you. Everywhere you go, I know you get it. If you get this video, if you have stuck around, okay, after all of the distractions, people see you. They point you out. They say, it's that one. I want that one to help me. That's the person I want to give the gift card to. That's the person I want to acknowledge. And you like, me, little old me, I'm just going about my day-to-day. Minding my own good business. I don't bother nobody. I come do my job I'm paid to do. I go an extra mile. I do it to excellence. I uplift people. I pray for people. That's you. And people see your hard work. God say the community members, your family, your friends, your enemies, they see you. Keep doing it. Your hard work is going to pay off, okay? So they see the hours of dedication that you've put into uplifting your self-development, whatever you've been sowing into, whatever your weight loss goals are, whatever your organizations you're a part of. They see it. They see your commitment, your sacrifices, and your wins and losses. And it's okay to lose also. Keep that in mind. Because even though I felt defeated, because I was like, man, I wanted to get my steps in. And I didn't count that as a loss. I just counted that as something that I wasn't able to get and reach at a certain point because I wasn't feeling well. And I tried the best I could to get as far as I could. And God is saying, even that, people are going to admire your things that you even tried to reach, but you couldn't. It wasn't meant to be. But just the fact that you was brave enough to step out there and do it. The fact that you got out of bed and put your shoes on even though you didn't feel well. The fact that you applied for the job even though you didn't have the right schooling. Just because you took a step out there, people are going to admire that, and people are going to be drawn to God's kingdom because of your hard work, your dedication, your commitment, your sacrifices, your boldness, your hard work that you're doing. It's going to draw other people in. They're going to say, listen, I got to at least do something. It's going to be hard for people not to do something around you. Okay? So, God will make provisions and protection for you. So Boaz says to Ruth, he says in 2 and 8, he says, stay right here with us. When you gather grain, don't go to any other fields. Verse 9, I have warned the young men not to treat you roughly, and when you are thirsty, help yourself to water they have drawn from the well. So God is saying in this one, she's drinking water that she didn't even have to provide for herself. Stop trying to provide things for yourself. Your help does not come from yourself. Your help comes from your Father. Your Father is in control of the whole universe. Your Father knows what you need. He knows how to feed the birds out there. He knows how to feed you. You are way more valuable than a bird to your Father. Stop wondering about where you're going to eat, where you're going to sleep, what you're going to wear. God is saying he's going to make a provision for you, and it's not coming in the way that you think it's going to come. Ruth did not see Boaz coming from a mile away. This was an opportunity that she was placed in front of him for him to see her. Okay, so God is saying you're going to be placed into a grand opportunity, and he wants you to be prepared. That's why you got to keep working. You got to keep pressing play. You got to keep knocking at the door. You got to keep waking up every day fighting. Even when you get sick, don't let it break you down. Even when somebody tell you no, even when your haters tell you you'll never be successful, when God blow on your stuff and blow you up, it's going to be an opportunity for them to become believers because of the dedication and sacrifices that you've kept in his kingdom, okay? God is saying he's going to make a way for you. You do not have to provide for yourself any longer. So you're also going to be protected. So he tells her, stay over here with us. Don't go to any other fields. You're going to be safe here with us, in other words, okay? You're going to be safe here with us. And he tells her in verse 2:11, Boaz says, I know about everything you have done for your mother-in-law. I have heard how you left your father and mother and your own land to live among complete strangers. So what you do, other people in great places are going to admire that. Your co-workers, the reason why they come against you is because they admire your drive, your hard work, your great character, your independent thinking, you just being determined, you always being selfless, you going the extra mile, you showing up excellence even when you don't feel your best. People don't even know that I don't feel my best until I open my mouth, and then you can hear how my voice and the sinuses and impacting me. Other than that, you will not know that I'm not feeling my best, because I still wake up every morning knowing that my Father gave me breath in my body. I know that I still have a gift I can stand on. I know that I still have a purpose. I know that I have things that God wants me to do each and every day, whether I feel like it or not, whether I have to fight through or not. The same thing with you. Strangers see, even people that you don't even know are watching you. They see how, what you've done, what you've had to overcome. I share my testimony all the time. I wasn't a little child that grew up in an environment where I had my mother and my father and both of my sisters, and we were all happy eating at the table together. I had never even ate at the table as far as just regular casual dinner until I went to one of my girlfriend's houses. And I saw it like on TV where all the food was laid out. We ate at 6 o'clock and dinner was put up by 7, and we were on to the next thing. I did not grow up seeing those customs and norms and traditions. We ate like that on Thanksgiving. We set the table for Christmas and, holidays. So God is saying people see where you came from, especially your family. Now, your family, sometimes they come against you and they be, like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you doing that. I grew up with you. We took baths together. We did that crazy thing together. I can't believe you out here doing this and that. They're going to be the greatest believers. So that's why I said your bloodline is dependent on you to not turn around while you're at that crossroad. When it get hard, you got to keep going, okay? And Boaz was telling her, I see you. I know about you. I know more about you than you think I do. We're not strangers. I've heard about you. So people out there talking about the greatness that you're doing through God's strength and his provision and how he's blessing you. People going to look at what you got, look at where you came from, and they're going to know that it's no way that you was able to multiply yourself like that. That's why God got to blow you up so big so that he can get the credit. It's not for you because you special and your hair curly and you know how to articulate and you got 55 degrees and you was the chosen one. No, it's so he can get the glory, okay? He can get the glory out of the story. So people going to be at awe and admiring what you do, but It's so God can show people this is what you do, this is what he can do and multiply you when you follow him. So your life is going to be a living testimony for your whole bloodline, for everybody to see. It's not going to be a secret. So get out of the lack and worrying about your immediate needs. God said he got more pressing issues for you to worry about than your light bill, okay? So I put, because of your faithfulness, your whole family will be saved, similar to how Rahab's whole family was saved because of her ability to help, her willingness to help the spies. So you're going to be the Rahab. You're not a prostitute, okay? But your spirit, you just having that boldness, that confidence in your willpower. The same thing with Ruth. You are faithful. You're committed. You're determined. Your mind is made up. Your whole bloodline is going to be saved because of you. And I know it's hard to believe. You're thinking, me, the person come across this video. Your cousin may not see this video. Your mama may not see this video. Your grandma may not see this video. You may have lost family members who can't see this video. But because you saw it on today, God say, you the chosen one. You're the person that's going to save the whole bloodline. You're going to be the Rahab when everybody else, when everybody else get captured, you're going to be the reason why they're saved. And they're going to say, I'm so sorry about all the hell we put you through, how we talked about you and how we, sat around and talked about how your gift wasn't valuable and how it won't go make no money. And we didn't know why you was recording all them videos and we didn't know what you was doing. Your family, they may not never come back and say thank you, but they're going to be grateful that you're doing what you're doing and becoming the best version you can be. Okay. So, because of you, your whole bloodline is going to be saved. That's a great thing to know, that God is going to use you in a mighty way like that. And it comes with a big responsibility, okay? So thank y'all for sticking with me this long, okay? So he goes on to say, he tells the people, he says in 2 verse 16, it says, and pull out some heads of barley from the bundles and drop them on purpose for her. Let her pick them up and don't give her a hard time. So you're going to be well taken care of. People who need to see your value until God is ready to bring you out, they're going to see it. They're going to help you. You're going to get little drop-ins and, money and resources and opportunities, and they're going to be making it a little easy for you. So this road is not all going to be strife and sweat and blood, tears and all of that. Like, it's not going to be all bad. You're going to have some good breaks. God is saying that he's going to make sure that he always put the pressure on you, but then he also brings that relief exactly when you need it, so that you won't feel overwhelmed or feel like, he's left you out there in the wilderness all by yourself, especially while you're doing what he asked you to do with faithfulness, with commitment, with consistency. God cannot sit down on that. He's going to bless you, okay? So just like how Boaz told them to drop them on purpose for her, don't give her a hard time. It's going to be some people in your path, and they're coming very soon. It's not going to take him all day to bring some people that love you, that see your light, that support you, that's going to subscribe to your channel, that's going to invest in your business, that's going to be telling other people good stuff about you. Let me tell you about this girl or this man I met, how wonderful they are. They came from nothing, and God is bringing them forward. Let's bring them in. Let's donate this. Let's give them that opportunity. Let's share. People are going to be speaking good on your name only because you are leading a life that is admirable to other people. They're going to be marveling at how well you are able to do what you're doing, how consistent you've been, how pleasant you are to be with in person, on camera, in the community with their children. People are going to acknowledge that, and they're not going to make it hard for you. So they're going to be leaving little things around and opening doors. You're not going to have to do this by yourself. He's going to bring you a community of people that's going to make it easy for you. You're going to be fed. You're going to have opportunities. You're going to grow, okay? So once you get out of your own way, God will send the help, his kingdom heaven help. So a lot of us, we want help from our first cousin. We want help from our boss. We want help from our friends. We want help from certain people. Sometimes we even say, well, I don't want to go over there and prophesy to that person. I don't want to give them a good word today. I don't even know that person. I sat beside a lady in gymnastics, and Holy Spirit was telling me to talk to her, and I was like, no, Holy Spirit, I want to work on my lesson plan. Holy Spirit just kept nudging at me. We sat there and talked the whole gymnastics class, and she was like, girl, I would have never known that you was who you were sitting beside me, that you had that spirit, that you had that light, that you had that positivity and that anointing inside of you sitting right here beside me. I would have never known had you sat down on what God asked you to say to me. Listen, God has divine connections in this path and walk with him, okay? So when you do something and you scared to do it, God see that. He see you overcame that little bitty fear of just talking to your neighbor. I just want to mind my business and watch my baby play. God say, no, you on assignment. You are the person representing your bloodline. You gonna do stuff your mother couldn't even do before she went to her grave. My mother never got on an airplane before she died. And God had me get on my airplane at 33 for the first time on a luxury vacation. You gonna do some things that people in your bloodline never even imagined doing because they didn't have the finances, the know-how, the opportunity. They didn't put themselves in position to make these things happen, or God just didn't allow it for some reason. But God said, you are going to be the person who's going to break down those barriers, okay? Especially of not talking to people. God said, you got to get out of there, especially serving him. You got to be willing to talk to any and everybody, just not the people you feel comfortable talking to. Now, if I got my coaching community, I'll be in there in the chat, typing, hype, hugging everybody. But when it comes to a stranger, I'm like, whoa, I don't know about that. But God say, you got to get out of that. You got to get out of that. Because you never know where he has a seed for you to sow. You never know who may be going home contemplating suicide. You never know who's in a domestic violence relationship. You never know who's on their last leg and need $10. You never know how you can help people in a great way only by just being open. Okay? So when you get out of your own way, because I had to get out of my own way talking to that lady, and I just like to be quiet and I like to observe more. But when God say speak, I have to speak. The same with you. When God say go, you got to go. When he say read, you got to read. When he say press play, you got to press play. You got to fight through the fear. And you will realize after you do it, it wasn't as bad as it seemed. Now I got a new buddy. And we probably can talk next week during gymnastics. But it's not as bad as it seemed. It wasn't as nerve-wracking. People are just wanting to talk to you just like you wanted to talk to them. But they're wanting somebody to break the ice. And God said, you the person. You are the person who is going to be the leader. You're the eagle. Just having that badge of honor just doesn't mean you just get to say it. You actually got to be about it, okay? So you got to get rid of your limited beliefs, old traditions, and in the box thinking. So me just sitting right there at that couch in the box thinking. Me not getting out of the bed earlier this week when I was feeling really, really bad and feeling really, really low. That is limited thinking. I think I have to do that because that's what they tell us to do. You got to get in the bed. You got to stay in the bed. You can't do this. You can't do that if you don't feel well. But every step I took, even though I didn't get to the 10,000, every step I took, every time I went against the grain of making my mind feel like I'm more sick, I felt healthier. I felt well. I felt recovered. I felt rejuvenated. I got a second win. I was able to go to my assignments every day. I didn't have to call out. I still was able to care for my child. I was still able to record, get God's work done, study, self-develop, attend my meetings. Like I said, if you could just look at me, you wouldn't have even been able to tell that I wasn't feeling my best. God is saying, defeat the odds. Keep pressing play every day, okay? The reason why Ruth was able to be noticed by Boaz is because he heard about her. You got to be doing something that people can hear about. You got to be doing something to keep the community watching you, engaged. They should be marveling at you like an eagle coming down. They should be like, wow, you are rare. You shouldn't just be amongst the chickens, just gossiping like everybody else, doing the same thing everybody else doing, living where they live, drive where they drive, vacation where they vacation, talking to your children the way they talk to their children, talking to your spouse the way they talk to their spouse, not having any wealth and abundance. like God say we should. You shouldn't be doing the same things everybody else doing. You should be prospering and desiring more, getting in alignment, preparing your mind and your heart and your whole family for more, for abundance. God is saying that's your portion. But in order for you to get in position and for certain people to see, you got to be doing something. So keep pressing play. You might think it's small. You might think that one business is just going to stay that one business forever. God said he got multiple businesses. He got multiple things that he wants you to do. This is just the start, okay? So God will make it easy for you, just like how he let the bundles fall and let her pick them up. God is going to make it a little easy for you. It's not going to be all hard. You just can't be hard-headed. It only gets hard when you get hard-headed. Whenever I get hard-headed, I want to date who I want to date. I want to eat what I want to eat. I want to talk to London how I want to talk to her. I want to clean this house when I feel like it. When I do things the way I want to do it, that's when it get hard. When I don't get in my word, that's when I get unclear and I get lost and I start accepting things that's lower than what he say I deserve. That's when things get hard for me. It's when I do the hard stuff, which is being out of obedience. When I stay in perfect alignment, when I stay listening to what he tell me to do, when I talk to strangers when he tell me to talk to them, when I sow into people without charging them a thing, when I listen to their problems, when I talk to my friends, and when I doing certain things, I don't feel, I just feel like a whole new life. I feel less burdened. I feel happy. I feel peaceful. I feel content. I am in joy. I don't care. Even when I'm not feeling well, your not feeling well moments, your lost moments, you still feel like you winning. Even when you lose, that was just a learning lesson. Even when the money don't be what it's supposed to be, God gonna send another resource. Even when people walk out, God is just making provision for new people to come. You look at everything different when you renew your mind, when you get an optimistic attitude, when you know that God has more for you, that all these things that happened to you in your childhood was just preparing you for the great place that God is going to take you. When you put all that into perspective, you will understand that God makes it easy for us. We make it hard when we go against what he asks us to do, when we start operating out of our own will, when we start creating things that does not go along with his plan. God, let your will be done. Your will, not our will. When we get out of our own way, God will make it easy for us. Let's see. So the last thing he told me to share is you will marry an honorable man. All right, that's it, y'all. You will marry an honorable man. So verse 3 and 10, it says, you are showing even more family loyalty now than you did before, for you have not gone after a younger man, whether richer or poor. Verse 3:11, chapter 3, verse 11, it says, now don't worry about a thing, my daughter. I will do what is necessary for everyone in town. No, you are a virtuous woman. And it says, verse 17, chapter 3, it says, he gave me 6 scoops of barley and said, don't go back to your mother-in-law empty-handed. So this is when Naomi said, listen, Boaz, he got a thing for you, okay? He's being kind to you, and it's time for us to get our future established. We got to get some stability around here, okay? So he tells her to go and visit Boaz, sleep at his feet or whatever, and he even admired her even more. He said, you are even more family loyalty than you did before. You're showing more loyalty to the family than you did before, for you have not gone after a younger man, whether richer or poor. So she's showing loyalty to her bloodline. She's doing the right things that Naomi asked her to do. She's working hard. She's doing all the things that has prepared her for this opportunity, okay, to be in position. And he's saying that I'm going to honor you. So a lot of us, we're seeking spouses. We don't want to be single for the rest of our lives. We're focused on our purpose. We're doing what God asked us to do. And on the journey, people are going to see. Our husbands are going to hear. Your wives are going to see it here. They're going to be able to see the fruit that God has released in your life. And they're going to know that you have just not been focused on getting a husband. You've been focused on doing what your father asked you to do. But along the way, God said he's going to bring you a significant other. He's going to bring you a husband or a wife, okay? And they're going to know that you have loyalty, that you are a virtuous woman, that you're an honest and upstanding man. You're not going to have to bend over backwards. You're not going to have to run this person down. They're going to do what's right from the very beginning. God definitely revealed that to me. Um, and he tells her, don't worry, I will do what is necessary. That means I'm going to do what's right. I'm going to take care of it. You're not going to have to be the woman trying to be the man and the man trying to be the woman. You guys are going to come together. You're going to be equally yoked. And he telling her, here goes something to go home with. Don't go home empty-handed. So your future husband, he's going to make a provision for you. You're going to feel safe. You're going to know that what he says is going to be true. You're not going to have to second guess for him. He's not going to be broken and not having financial abundance. He's going to have something to give you, to offer you, for you to come into his protection, okay? You're not going to meet a ready man billionaire that's just throwing money at the money machine, okay? No, this is not what this word is talking about. It's talking about the character. He's saying, here it's like a peace offering or a love offering. Go home and share this with your mother-in-law. And she was even impressed. Like, see, he's going to do what he said he's going to do. So you're not going to have to worry about this significant other, husband or wife, that God is going to send you. So Naomi tells Ruth, chapter 3, verse 18, it says, be patient. The man, which is Boaz, will not rest until he has settled things today. So your future husband, he's going to be about that life. He's going to be 10 toes down for the kingdom. He's going to make sure he keeps your virtue intact. He's not going to be pressuring you to get into bed with him. He's not going to be pressuring you to give over your finances. He's not going to be pressuring you to see what you can give him. He's going to be offering something to you, which is his hand in marriage. He's going to be offering integrity, loyalty, honesty, commitment. He's going to let his words and his actions match. Okay, it's a lot that we can learn from this about what God says about Boaz and about Ruth, okay? So he will be wealthy in spirit, and he will also have something to offer. He's going to be preparing your husband. God is saying with this scripture reading, he's going to be preparing a husband for you. So you also need to be preparing yourself to be a wife, okay? To be patient. It's coming. You won't have to question his intentions. His actions and his words will align. He will be committed and do what he says he's going to do. He's going to be a man of integrity and after God's own heart. It's going to be a spiritual exchange that you have, that you're going to know you can trust this person. This person is the person that God sent for you. This is not a word to say, go jump in a relationship. But from the very beginning, God said, bet on yourself. Just know that he got more for you, okay? That he's going to be making provisions for you. People are going to be coming into your life for destiny purposes. You're not just going to be meeting people just to go to the bar and hang out and get into their group chats and hear all their gossip and for them to share all your business. It's not going to be about fluff anymore. It's going to be about kingdom business. It's going to be about kingdom connections, okay? Even the stranger that I met at the gymnastics, it's a reason why we cross paths with each other. Maybe somebody that looked like me, never talked to her, just sat beside her and act like I didn't even see her. Maybe that's the experience she's always had. It's the reason why God asks us to do the things that we do. And we talk for over 55 minutes like I did tonight, okay? I know this was a long one, but God just told me to get on here and share. And as I see things in the community, God give me clearance to talk about it, because it's not only me that's seeing it. And also, he doesn't want us to just, not be acting of excellence, not be modeling excellence for the kids. If you want the kids to do better, you got to do better. If you want, more out for your life, you're going to have to realize that when you get to this crossroad, you're going to have to make a decision. You got to make a firm decision. God said, the decision you need to make. Bet on yourself, okay? And I know we discussed a lot. I gotta go. I need to go in there and see what London did to the TV. Okay. She just wanted to come out here. She be wanting to get on camera. When she know I'm recording, she can hear my big mouth in there. And the TV, I don't know, something about the TV just keep jumping from here to there. She pressed the wrong button. But I'm going to go in there. I'm going to try to get the rest of my steps in. If I don't, it's okay. I know tomorrow I'm going to be stronger and I can still plow forward, okay? So even if you don't reach your goals, try your very best to just keep plowing, pressing play, okay, in every department, not just one. Keep being consistent with the things that you want to happen, okay? I know that was a lot. I hope that you guys received the messages. I love you guys. Keep coming back up here, subscribing to the channel, liking the video. This was a whole lot to eat, okay? I know you guys are belly up in the spirit, but God say somebody need to hear this, that your hard work is about to pay off. He's growing a husband out there for you. He's wanting you to step out of your old mindset, those old traditions. He wants you to come over here and cling to his word, not to people, to promises, to things. Cling to his word. He got you. He's not going to just let you be out here hungry, not, having what you need. It's going to be a time where he's going to release your stuff and you're going to be like, oh, that's why I had to keep plowing. That's why it took so long. That's why I needed to work in that area. That's why I had to get financially stable. That's why I had to pay all that debt. That's why I had to do all that stuff. You will see in the long scheme of things, you will see that God got bigger for you, better for you, and more for you, okay? I know you at that crossroad. You feel like, I ain't got nothing. I done lost my man. I done lost my dog. I done lost my place. I done lost everything. But God say, you have not lost your faith. If you come across this video, you have not lost your faith. God say, get back in the game. Keep pressing play, doing whatever you need to do day by day by not going back. You can't go back. Death is there. Death of not only you, your spirit, but your bloodline, okay? I gotta go. London coming back out again. I love y'all. Have a great night. Subscribe to the video. And so into the life coaching sessions. The link is in the description below. Click the link. Get you a session on today. Keep supporting the videos. Any type of financial support you guys have shown, sown into me, given to me. And I don't care if it be 25 cents to hundreds of dollars, okay? I appreciate it. Every little bit helps. Every little bit counts. And you guys do not have to do that. And I understand that, especially as a working mother, as a brand new entrepreneur. I know that you don't have to do that, okay? So I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Me and London, we do not squander the money away. I am doing things that God asked me to do with it, investing in my self-development. I'm always paying it forward. That's why I don't worry about where the next is coming from, because as long as I pray that I'm doing what God asked me to do with the money, I know that he's going to send more. I know that he's going to replenish it. The same thing with you. Don't be scared to sow into a life coaching session, because once God see, she's serious. She done got her coaching session. She tied up with another eagle. Oh, he gonna make sure that you get to where you need to get. You're not gonna be lacking for anything, okay? Do not be scared to invest in yourself. Remember, we're betting on ourselves. In order to bet on yourself, you gotta show yourself that I am deserving of whatever I sow into myself. I'm gonna get it multiplied back. God saying, whatever you sow into his kingdom to become the best version for your kids, for your family, for your people that you are in charge of, that's influencing, that you're supposed to be influencing in your community, you're going to get that back multiplied. Okay, I love you guys. Gotta go. Have a blessed and prosperous day. Like the video, comment, subscribe. Keep coming back up here. Okay, I'm gonna be back up here another day. Hopefully my throat be better, and I'll be 110% back to health. Okay, I'm almost there. Keep praying. I love you guys. Have a blessed night.